Thank you so much for your interest in Sewing in Place. I'm Zach,
I'm Heidi.
and we have been friends for quite a while. Ain't that right, Heidi?
It is. We met on Instagram in 2015 because of our shared love of quilting and handwork. One of the things I specialize in are diary quilts. I do a lot of making meaning with my materials, and I also do a little something I like to call visible hand piecing.
And I think it was looking at your quilts and seeing how you told stories through your quilts that really drew me to you in the first place. Because that's a lot of what I think about when I'm making memory quilts and burial quilts. And even when I'm on the road making these little tiny quilts, they all tell stories.
And one of my favorite stories that I watched you tell was when you were traveling in Mexico and you used all these found spoons in Mexico to attach to your quilt. Then I continued to see you making travel quilts in the UK and upstate New York.
And you've been to India. You made that quilt from India. And I know that every time you come visit me, you're bringing some project to work on. So we are pros at sewing on the road, which is what gave us the idea for this workshop, Sewing in Place. How do we capture being in a particular place at a particular time in our quilts? That's the heart of what we're doing here.
Absolutely. I love the challenge that traveling and quilting gives us. It makes it feel like a collaboration with our circumstances around space, supplies, time, the things we want to multitask with while we're sewing. And it is such a cool challenge to have to be nimble while you're making a quilt.
And not only does travel provide us with a certain amount of restrictions and limitations, it also opens us up to a lot of things that we can use as artists in our work. How do we use the surroundings that we're sitting in to influence our work? The quilts we make sitting on a park bench in Mexico City are going to be vastly different than the ones we make sitting in front of the TV on our couch at home.
And one of my favorite things about going on a trip and traveling is anticipating that travel. And we have prepared a lot of fun activities for everyone while you're anticipating the trip. You're going to get a lot of videos and prepared content from us on techniques so that when we are traveling in person, you're going to be set loose to just think about ideas. And we'll be making a special hand-stitched tote bag to hold all of our supplies. And that tote is going to have some applique on the surface depicting your home place.
That'll be your homework to get ready for the workshop. And then after our time together in the actual workshop, you'll walk away with a whole cloth applique quilt top that depicts the time, the place, and the experiences you had during the workshop.
And after a trip, there's nothing like reminiscing about it. And you are going to get to reminisce every time you wrap yourself up in your quilt, as well as while you're quilting it, or whether you're machine or hand quilting it. That will be a beautiful time to reflect and consider the travel that we've done.
You can't cuddle up with a photo album, can you, Heidi?
You sure can't, but I hope everybody can join us on this trip, Sewing in Place.